Top 10 Reasons Why The Last of Us Part 2 is Popular, 2020. After 7 years later since 2013, The Last of Us Part 2 is coming back with higher and strong expectations. It is also termed one of the best video games ever made by many gamers. Set your mind up, this is a spoiler alert because The Last of Us Part 2 belongs to a gaming category as survival and horror. So expect complete brutality and gruesome killing. The Last of Us is an appeal to a larger audience which seemed like a very lucrative pop culture franchise, that is why the expectation is higher. Number 1. The Last of Us Part 2 is about hate, revenge, which gives the story an extended metaphor to a cycle of violence. Number 2. Set in a violent, tribal, pandemic-ravaged world, the long-awaited Naughty Dog epic will leave you stoned, damaged, and mesmerized by the entire brutality and grueling killing of the game sequences. Number 3. The sequence helped establish The Last of Us as one of the most successful games in the history of the gaming industry. High-quality storytelling, there is an improvement of artistic achievement and high-quality content that put a strong consideration to the commercial viability of the game at heart. Number 4. The game's story is about entrenched tribalism in a world undone by a global pandemic. As you play the game, walking through empty spaces, scavenging for items that used to be commonplace, listening to characters describe the fall of society with a sense of loss, you feel emotionally in sync. Number 5. It has LGBT representation at the center of the game. The LGBT character in the game's ELLE stands out, as the protagonist of an aggressive, and not afraid to stand out and be accepted by the main users of the game. Number 6. The leakage in late April, which caused some hype as to what really happened when it was seen that the murder of the original main character beaten to death by a muscular woman. It also made many to be anxiously waiting for the game to come out. Number 7. In the game you will spend a lot of time sneaking through dark rooms, avoiding attackers from every corner in the shadows, while your heart is pumping. Suspenseful music is played in your ears to tell you, you're ever in danger at any moment. Zombies may be at your throat and rip out your neck. Number 8. Adrenaline is always pumping out because the action in the game is startling and stressful. You will have the experience of being physically living a horror movie. Number 9. The idea of the game is to create an emotional response, similar to the dopamine rush of social media, that compels people to spend hours immersed in a digital world by experiencing the rush of both excitement and despair. Number 10. As games became more sophisticated, fans have now to accept that violence and show of continuous brutality are part of the gaming genius idea, and so they can escape it. More reasons. Number 1. The Last of Us Part 2 stuffs you with pain and guilt, making you commit heinous acts as one person, then experience the repercussions as another. Number 2. The creators gave a detailed graphic of violence, from the sound of blood leaving the body to characters who grunt in pain, no, just as they beg not to hurt or kill them. Number 3. Even the normally anonymous bad guys are made semi-human, given names so that whenever you down an enemy, others cry out to them individually, calling, "Jack, Jack," as they realize a friend is gone. Number 4. The storytelling is always deeper than the previous sequence, that's why it becomes a race to the darkest bottom, in which each new sequence features a world viler than the last, and each new anti-hero more cynical and evil than the one before them. Number 5. In between battles, The Last of Us Part 2 has players explore post-apocalyptic settings, collecting weapons and supplies to continue. Number 6. In today's coronavirus era, The Last of Us Part 2 feels most like the coronavirus era's twisted sister. That's why more people are drawn to the game and understand it. Number 7. The Last of Us Part 2 will rank among the most successful games ever released for the PlayStation 4 console.